Thanks for joining us here. I'm Liz Dewicki.
And I'm Robert Olguin. So some residents in West El Paso are fighting to stop an affordable housing project from being built in their backyard.
Yeah, today they took another step in that fight, leaving their city representative calling their actions derogatory. KFOX 14 News at 9's Vanya Castillo has more on that back and forth.
This is why you have a representative to represent our rights.
Now, this plot of land that I'm standing on has been the site of a lot of contention here in West El Paso. It's the site of a proposed housing project, and neighbors who live in this area are upset about what it could mean for their future of their community.
Well, a group called Coronado Neighbors Unite have been trying to stop the Housing Authority of El Paso from going forward with the proposed affordable housing project in the South Mesa Hills area in West El Paso.
If I would have known that the plan was to build government-owned housing just down my street, I would have never bought the house here.
They've already collected signatures and started a petition trying to ask their city rep, Chris Canales, to vote against the project.
We need to certify the signatures. Can we call or do we have to return to the office?
Well, this morning they took things a step further, turning in this letter of intent to recall Canales from his position as a representative of District 8. Chris Canales going tit for tat, responding to each and every complaint extensively.
That I don't think it's appropriate for me to commit to one side early. Like I want to hear from the public and from everybody on their opinions on this. And, you know, they're not happy with that answer.
36 neighbors have joined a lawsuit against Home and have started a GoFundMe to come up with $17,000 for a legal retainer. But there's language like this used in that GoFundMe saying that the people who would live in affordable housing projects would bring loud mufflers and loud cars causing extreme noise pollution, graffiti, crime, increased police presence due to questionable activities and drugs. Something Canales describes as derogatory and stereotypes of working class residents.
When you hear this kind of language, what goes through your head?
It makes me wonder what kind of country you want to live in when people will go out and say these horrible things about people, other El Pasoans that are just like them. It's difficult to hear. I mean, the only difference is maybe somebody has a little bit more economic opportunity.
Do you at all regret the use of language that's used in this GoFundMe?
The interview today from Canales, he basically stated that, you know, we don't want any riffraff, and we use a lot of derogatory comments. But none of those comments, I want to go on the record that none of those comments were made by us.
I understand that you guys are trying to make a point about, you know, the impact that this could have on your community. But again, using, you know, like loud mufflers, loud cars causing extreme noise.
We went to the loud mufflers. I went over to the Madonna apartment. So to try to throw something back on us is totally incorrect. And what he said on one of the reports today, that there was a lot of derogatory reports that he said. We would like him to tell us exactly who said that, because it did not come from anyone in our group.
And are there like certain rules that people who are living there have to follow?
We make sure that people that come in are screened. We make sure that they're not an issue. We run background checks on every man, woman, and child over the age of 12. We look at their financial independence. You know, we look at their need. We look at their disability.
Does that bring you any peace of mind?
No, that doesn't. So he can try to spin us as making us look like the bad guys, but we are El Pasoans, period. We're you. We're you.
The CEO of Home says the consequences of this project not moving forward could cost the community a lot more.
We just were awarded $16 million for that site. So right now we've raised $25 million. If we're not allowed to move forward, that money will go somewhere else in Texas instead of here in our community that needs it so much.
That was Vanya Castillo reporting. So if you'd like to read the letter of intent to recall Canales as well as his response, we have all that linked on our website, kfoxtv.com.
You know, we also spoke with a local professor who says affordable housing does not mean higher crime. Dr. Egbert Zavala, a criminal justice professor at UTEP, tells us that while there can be a relationship between affordable housing and crime, it is not a predictor for crime.
And of course, we do have public housing already here in El Paso. So if public housing was a strong predictor of criminal behavior, then we would have seen it in El Paso. But we don't. El Paso is one of the safest cities in the United States.
So according to Zavala, studies show affordable housing built in a neighborhood with little criminal behavior will not increase crime.